Insectoid entities are described by many witnesses as having features that echo the form and function of terrestrial insects. Their descriptions often include traits such as exoskeletal bodies, multi-limbed structures, compound eyes, and antennae. Despite these similarities, many accounts suggest that these beings possess an intelligence and purpose that far surpass the instincts of earthly insects. Today's discussion will delve into these aspects, and we will consider whether these accounts represent a distinct form of life that has long interacted with our planet, or if they are symbolic manifestations arising from a collective human psyche. Let's begin with a discussion of physical characteristics. The term insectoid typically refers to beings that bear resemblances to insects, yet their overall morphology is often described as uniquely adapted for purposes that go beyond mere survival. Witnesses commonly report that insectoid entities have segmented bodies covered by a hard, chitinous exoskeleton. Their limbs are frequently described as jointed and versatile, enabling precise movements and rapid actions. Many accounts mention that these beings have multiple arms or legs, sometimes 6, sometimes more, each seemingly capable of performing complex tasks simultaneously. A recurring detail in many insectoid encounters is the description of their eyes. Unlike the large, singular eyes noted in other alien archetypes, insectoid entities are often reported to have multiple compound eyes. These eyes, arranged in patterns reminiscent of insects like dragonflies or mantises, are said to provide a panoramic field of vision and an acute sensitivity to light. Some witnesses describe these eyes as shimmering with iridescence, capable of reflecting a spectrum of colors. The presence of such eyes suggests an evolutionary path that may be entirely separate from the biological trajectories we see in Earth's vertebrates. In addition to their exoskeletal and ocular features, many insectoid entities are reported to have antennae. These slender, often delicate structures are said to emerge from the forehead or the sides of the head, and they are frequently described as being highly mobile. Witnesses sometimes attribute these antennae with functions beyond the ordinary, for instance, as sensors that detect chemical signals, vibrations, or even electromagnetic fields. Such descriptions lead some researchers to speculate that these beings might possess communication methods and perceptual abilities that differ greatly from our own. Beyond physical traits, the behavioral characteristics attributed to insectoid entities further distinguish them from other alien archetypes. Many accounts emphasize a sense of collective behavior or hive mentality among these beings. Witnesses often report that insectoid entities appear to operate in groups, coordinating their actions with a level of precision that suggests a shared consciousness or collective intelligence. Unlike encounters with solitary beings, interactions with insectoids sometimes evoke the impression of being part of an organized, almost militaristic operation. Whether this is due to a biological imperative or a social structure that emphasizes cooperation, the phenomenon challenges our conventional understanding of individuality and group dynamics. Historical accounts of insectoid entities are not as widespread as those of the greys or reptilians, yet they do appear in a variety of cultural narratives. Some ancient traditions speak of creatures that dwell in the shadowy parts of the earth or in the depths of dense forests. Although these stories are often dismissed as myth or allegory, certain symbolic elements, such as the emphasis on insect-like features, are hard to ignore. For example, certain Mesoamerican cultures depict beings with attributes that resemble those of insects, associating them with fertility, transformation, and sometimes ominous change. Modern accounts of insectoid encounters have emerged primarily in the latter half of the 20th century, though reports continue into the present day. These modern narratives frequently describe encounters that take place in remote locations, dense woodlands, desolate deserts, or near abandoned industrial sites. Many of these encounters involve brief, almost fleeting interactions. Witnesses might see a flash of movement at the edge of their vision, or catch a glimpse of a creature with insect-like features scuttling away into the darkness. Despite their brevity, these encounters often leave a profound impression on those who experience them, sometimes accompanied by feelings of dread, curiosity, or even an inexplicable sense of recognition. One of the most intriguing aspects of insectoid encounters is the reported method of communication. Witnesses have described scenarios in which these beings appear to communicate through a series of clicks, chirps, or other non-verbal sounds. In some cases, there is also mention of what might be interpreted as a form of telepathic communication, a rapid exchange of images, emotions, or impressions that bypass conventional language. Such methods of communication suggest that the insectoid entities may be operating on a level of cognition that is entirely alien to human experience. The idea of nonverbal or telepathic communication among insectoid entities ties into a broader discussion about their social structure and intelligence. Some researchers theorize that, much like social insects on Earth, such as bees or ants, these beings may function as a collective. In a hive-like system, individual members are thought to be highly specialized, with the collective intelligence emerging from the interactions between them rather than residing in any one being. This could account for the apparent coordination observed in many insectoid encounters, where the behavior of the group appears synchronized and purposeful. Turning now to theories of origin, several possibilities have been proposed to explain the presence of insectoid entities on Earth. One prominent theory suggests that these beings are of extraterrestrial origin, arrivals from a planet where evolution followed a markedly different trajectory, one in which insect-like life forms became the dominant intelligent species. According to this view, the insectoid entities might have been exploring the cosmos much like we are now, and Earth, an environment teeming with biodiversity, could have presented an attractive site for observation or even colonization. Supporters of the extraterrestrial hypothesis point to the unusual physical features and behaviors of insectoid entities as evidence that they do not conform to any known Earth-based evolutionary lineage. The presence of compound eyes, antennae, and the reported hive mind behavior are not typical of vertebrate life and might imply a different biological heritage. Moreover, some accounts suggest that these beings are capable of surviving in extreme environmental conditions, an adaptation that could be advantageous on a planet very different from Earth. Such adaptations might include resistance to radiation, extreme temperatures, or toxic atmospheres, features that would be expected from an organism evolved under harsh planetary conditions. Another theory posits that insectoid entities may be interdimensional beings, entities that exist in a parallel plane of reality but can interact with our world under certain conditions. Proponents of this hypothesis argue that what we perceive as insectoid forms may be a manifestation of higher dimensional life that occasionally bleeds into our reality. According to this perspective, the unusual physical characteristics and behaviors reported by witnesses are not the result of biological evolution as we know it, but rather an expression of a completely different mode of existence. In moments of altered consciousness, stress, or environmental anomalies, the boundary between dimensions might thin, allowing these beings to become temporarily visible or tangible to us. The interdimensional hypothesis offers an alternative framework for understanding the sometimes surreal nature of insectoid encounters. Instead of viewing these beings solely as biological organisms, this theory suggests that they might be part of a broader, multi-layered reality, one where physical form and conventional biology are secondary to more subtle, energetic modes of existence. This could explain some of the more fantastical aspects of insectoid encounters, such as sudden appearances and disappearances, or the sensation of being observed by entities that seem to operate on an entirely different level of reality. A third perspective attempts to integrate both the extraterrestrial and interdimensional theories by suggesting that insectoid entities could be part of an ancient, ongoing interaction between Earth and a vast, interconnected network of non-human intelligences. According to this integrative view, the insectoid beings might have visited Earth long ago, perhaps even before the rise of human civilization, and left traces of their existence in our mythologies and archaeological records. Over time, their interactions with humanity might have evolved, shifting from overt contact to more subtle, cryptic influences that manifest as fleeting encounters and unexplained phenomena. This integrative theory is supported by the observation that many ancient cultures include symbols and myths that bear resemblance to modern insectoid descriptions. Whether these symbols represent literal encounters with alien beings or serve as metaphors for deeper truths about transformation and collective consciousness remains a subject of intense debate. Nonetheless, the recurring presence of insect-like imagery in our cultural heritage suggests that the possibility of non-human insectoid influence on Earth is not a wholly new idea. It is one that has resonated with humanity for millennia. Let us now examine some of the detailed testimonies and case studies that have contributed to our understanding of insectoid encounters. Although reports involving insectoid entities are generally less numerous than those involving greys or reptilians, the accounts that do exist are often remarkably detailed and vivid. Witnesses have described experiences that include sudden flashes of movement, sensations of being watched by countless multifaceted eyes, and even encounters in which these beings appear to be performing precise mechanical tasks. One account describes an individual trekking through a dense forest late at night who suddenly became aware of a series of rapid, synchronized movements in the underbrush. The witness reported a fleeting glimpse of a creature with a segmented body, multiple limbs, and a cluster of glowing compound eyes. Although the encounter lasted only moments, the vivid memory of the experience and the accompanying feeling of being part of a larger, organized presence left a lasting impression. In another case, a group of hikers described a scenario in which they came across unusual tracks and markings that bore an uncanny resemblance to patterns observed in social insect colonies. These markings, along with unexplained sounds in the darkness, led the witnesses to speculate that they had inadvertently stumbled upon an active gathering of insectoid entities. It is important to consider the broader implications of these encounters. If insectoid entities do indeed represent a form of non-human intelligence interacting with our world, what might their purpose be? Some researchers suggest that these beings could be involved in ecological monitoring, acting as custodians of Earth's biosphere. Their apparent affinity for natural settings and the often remote locations of their reported sightings lend some credence to this hypothesis. Perhaps they are drawn to areas of significant biodiversity, serving as both observers and, in some cases, even as agents of ecological balance. Others propose that the presence of insectoid entities may be linked to the cycles of transformation and renewal that are inherent in natural ecosystems. In many cultures, insects are symbols of change, decay, and rebirth. Think of the metamorphosis of a caterpillar into a butterfly, or the role of dung beetles in recycling nutrients. In this light, insectoid beings might symbolize an aspect of nature that transcends the ordinary, representing forces of transformation that periodically intervene in the natural order. Such a perspective could offer an explanation for why these encounters are often reported during times of environmental stress or significant ecological change. The psychological dimension of insectoid encounters is also worth exploring. Some experts in the fields of psychology and parapsychology suggest that the insectoid archetype may arise from deep-seated evolutionary memories. Insects, after all, have been part of Earth's ecosystem for hundreds of millions of years, and their forms and behaviors are deeply embedded in the human subconscious. Under conditions of stress, altered states of consciousness, or even collective cultural influence, the mind might generate images of insect-like beings as a way of processing and externalizing complex emotions or environmental anxieties. From this perspective, the insectoid encounters we witness might be both a reflection of an external reality and an expression of our inner fears and aspirations. The mind, faced with phenomena it cannot readily explain, may draw on ancient symbols and archetypes that have evolved over eons. Whether these images represent literal beings from another world, or another dimension, or are metaphors generated by the human psyche, they provide a rich source of material for understanding how we interact with the unknown. As we draw this segment to a close, it is essential to recognize that the phenomenon of insectoid entities challenges our conventional categories of life and intelligence. Their unusual physical forms, reported collective behavior, and the enigmatic circumstances under which they are encountered compel us to consider the possibility that Earth may be host to a far wider array of non-human intelligences than previously imagined, whether as extraterrestrial visitors, interdimensional travelers, or symbols emerging from the depths of the collective unconscious. Insectoid entities continue to provoke questions about the nature of reality, the limits of human perception, and the possibility of contact with life forms that are radically different from our own. The study of insectoid encounters opens up a fascinating window into the interplay between biological evolution, cultural symbolism, and the mysteries of consciousness. It encourages us to broaden our definitions of what constitutes life and to remain open to the possibility that intelligence may take forms that are as diverse as the stars in the sky. As researchers continue to compile accounts and seek patterns among these encounters, the true nature of insectoid entities may gradually come into sharper focus, offering insights not only into the alien, but also into the deepest recesses of our own existence. The enigma of insectoid entities, a convergence of biology, mythology, and cosmic mystery. The phenomenon of insectoid aliens presents one of the most perplexing and unsettling aspects of the broader UFO and extraterrestrial discourse. Unlike the more commonly reported greys or reptilians, insectoid entities evoke a primal unease, an instinctive revulsion tied to humanity's deep-seated fear of insects and the unknown. Yet, their reported behaviors, intelligence, and possible origins suggest something far more complex than mere cosmic pests. A biological paradox beyond earthly evolution. Insectoid beings, as described by witnesses, exhibit a fusion of terrestrial insect traits and highly advanced cognitive functions. Exoskeletal bodies with chitinous armor, suggesting an evolutionary path divergent from vertebrate life. Compound eyes capable of panoramic vision, possibly perceiving spectrums of light beyond human capacity. Antennae that may function as advanced sensory organs, detecting electromagnetic fields or even thought patterns. Multiple limbs, allowing for hyper-efficient multitasking, reminiscent of Earth's social insects, but with deliberate, intelligent coordination. These features imply an evolutionary lineage entirely alien to Earth, one where arthropod-like creatures achieved sentience and technological mastery. If such beings exist, they may hail from a planet where environmental pressures favored exoskeletons, hive intelligence, and extreme adaptability. The hive mind hypothesis, collective consciousness or advanced AI. Many encounters describe insectoids operating with eerie synchronicity, suggesting a hive intelligence, not unlike ants or bees, but on a vastly more sophisticated scale. Possible explanations include biological collective consciousness, a natural evolution of communal cognition, where individual units act as nodes in a greater neural network. Cybernetically augmented unity, artificial enhancements linking their minds, allowing instantaneous data sharing and decision-making. Interdimensional communication, a form of quantum entanglement or higher dimensional interaction beyond human comprehension. This raises a disturbing question. Do insectoids perceive individuality as we do, or are human witnesses merely encountering drones of a far larger, unseen intelligence? Ancient encounters, myth, symbol, or forgotten history. Insectoid imagery permeates ancient mythologies. Mesoamerican deities like the Mayan Amuz Cab, the bee god, or the Aztec Tzitzimimi, star demons with insectoid traits. Egyptian scarabs, symbolizing transformation and cosmic cycles, hinting at reverence or fear of insectoid intelligences. Hindu and Buddhist lore, where Khepri, the scarab-headed god, and Asuras, multi-armed beings, blur the line between divine and extraterrestrial. Were these merely symbolic, or did ancient civilizations encounter and perhaps worship actual insectoid entities? Modern encounters, from shadows to abductions. Contemporary reports describe forest and desert sightings where witnesses observe tall, mantis-like beings watching silently before vanishing. Military and UFO accounts, such as the infamous Mantis beings linked to black budget programs and underground facilities. Abduction scenarios where victims recall insectoid surgeons performing precise, emotionless procedures, suggesting a cold, clinical agenda. Are these beings conducting biological experiments, monitoring Earth's ecosystems, or preparing for something more ominous? Theories of origin: extraterrestrial, interdimensional, or ultra-terrestrial. Extraterrestrial hypothesis: insectoids may originate from a planet where arthropod-like life achieved dominance, evolving technology to traverse space. Their interest in Earth could be scientific, colonial, or even predatory. Interdimensional hypothesis: they might exist in a parallel dimension, occasionally crossing into our reality. Their erratic appearances and disappearances support this. Ancient earthly intelligence: a radical theory suggests they are native to Earth, having evolved here long before humans, possibly residing in subterranean or deep ocean habitats. AI or biomechanical drones: some speculate they are not organic at all, but self-replicating probes sent by an ancient civilization to observe or manipulate human development. The psychological impact: why do they terrify us? Humanity's instinctive fear of insects, entomophobia, may explain the deep unease these encounters provoke. But is this reaction purely biological, or does it hint at something deeper? Carl Jung's archetypes suggest insectoids represent the shadow self, the cold, unfeeling, and mechanistic aspects of existence we suppress. H.P. Lovecraft's cosmic horror echoes this, portraying insectoid deities, like Nyarlathotep, as embodiments of an uncaring, alien universe. Modern conspiracy theories posit that governments have known about them for decades, hiding their existence due to the mass panic it would incite. Conclusion: are we part of their experiment? The insectoid phenomenon forces us to confront unsettling possibilities. They may be older, smarter, and more organized than humanity. Their motives could range from scientific curiosity to outright exploitation. If they possess a hive mind, do they even recognize humans as individuals, or just as data points in a grand design? One thing is certain: insectoids do not fit neatly into human frameworks of life, intelligence, or morality. Whether they are explorers, conquerors, or ancient custodians of Earth, their presence, real or symbolic, challenges everything we think we know about the universe. The truth may be more alien than we can imagine. Watch the shadows, listen for the clicks, they are already here. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Drop a comment below with your thoughts. I love hearing from you. Check out more videos on the screen, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.